Gaming Today presents Cash Considerations.
Welcome to the Cash Considerations podcast. Today is Thursday, August 6th, and fellas, it's our 1-year anniversary being under the Gaming Today umbrella. We got 3 years in the books with AB and Mo and our boy D Griff. We'll get to all that at the end, but special day for us doing the show. We had to bring in the heavy hitters for special guests. Let's bring in the boys first. Joining us going to be later is Motoy Pearson at Heat These Takes on Twitter. He'll be in later. Right here with us now, Alan Berg, @% Berg. What's up, AB? In the Raiders hat.
Yeah, man, I got to rock the 50-50s now. A little Raiders love for the Vegas home team now, and then I'll still root for the Bears, but, I mean, we already know how much I hate them right now with their picking of quarterbacks, so we'll just move right along.
All right, we'll get to that later. I don't believe I'm seeing you wearing a Raiders hat. If that's one thing I could have put a bet on, I would have bet the no, and I would have lost.
I've lost my mind, clearly.
Yes, absolutely. Producing the show, producer extraordinaire, Reynolds. I am Reynolds 2305 on Twitter. He's got everything in order, ready to go. And now, without further ado, let's bring in our guest. The beard game is so on point. We see this guy on SportsCenter on the West Coast edition usually, but we haven't seen him for a while. But we're going to see him right here tonight on the YouTube video feed and on our audio version of the podcast at GT Cash Consider. Neil Everett, ESPN SportsCenter anchor. What's up, my man?
Well, happy anniversary. Thanks for having me on such a big event. Listen, I don't have a problem with the Raiders hat because Mariota is now on the Raiders, and you know I rep the Hawaii boys. And then your hat I got no problem with because that looks like Puddles from the U of O, so I'm throwing my O. So we got the Mariota, Oregon hat, Raiders, Neil Everett, happy anniversary. I mean, it's like a rap song waiting to happen.
He'll be the starter by week 8, my man.
Yeah. I think he's ready to go. He just got married or just got engaged. I think John Gruden will work well with him.
It may be sooner than week 8, but we'll get to that here in a minute. Yeah, Oregon hat for you. And the salad is just perfect. I mean, you haven't shaved in weeks. The hair is looking fresh. We can't cover that thing up with a hat. So
you can't go to a barber. So I live in Los Angeles. You can't go to a barber here. So,
man.
I wanted to start off the questions with that. How has this break been for you? I mean, you have not been on SportsCenter in 5 months.
5 months. Listen, I'm ready for some sports, and I know we have the sports going on, but it still feels lacking to me. Without the fandom there and all that, it's not. It's. And then with this pandemic part too, it's just like I found myself, I can't really enjoy the action that's out there right now because there's too much at stake. All I'm worried about is something going wrong. We're supposed to go back to work starting Monday. So that's exciting, but it's also terrifying because now I'm leaving a shut-in existence that I control, and I'm going to go down to a studio and I'm going to be around people. And I didn't like being around people before a pandemic. Now, even more so, I'm like, yo, this means 8 feet, okay? So, but listen, I really feel for those who have lost their livelihood. Even more so, everybody who's lost their lives. So it's time to go back to work. We'll go back to work and we'll get it done. But it's been tough, man. It's been tough for everybody.
Have you been doing this week? You're on ESPN Radio. You did it last couple of weeks ago as well. Are you doing that from the house?
Say that again.
Are you doing that from the house?
Right here, from right here. But we're not on like a video of any sort. But no, I sit right here and do it.
Do you like doing radio as opposed to TV?
No, don't like it at all. It's too long. You have a hard time building momentum because you've got so many breaks. You've got breaks you've got to take. Stan does a wonderful job of driving the bus on it. I'm just like I'm hopping on looking for change just to I'm just throwing out shots, and the thing about being on radio is you have to really like hearing yourself talk, and I don't. So, and it's I like picking my spots and going, but I don't necessarily like talking long form. I think my gig is way better built for the television, the highlights, the quick one hitters, and let's go.
Speaking of one hitters, we got a few I want to ask you about here later, but this is a sports betting show. We've worked in books. We talk about it. We live it. We're around it. And the space is changing. I mean, it's becoming very, very mainstream. Now, I know that you've been around it, but now, as far as like being on TV and talking about it, how have you seen this change, like just in your experience with SportsCenter and ESPN?
Well, just back in the day, it was like, whoa, be careful about any gambling references. Be careful about a gambling reference. And now it's like, hey, boom, what's the line? Hey, they're not the favorite because they actually were, they were getting points even though they were the higher seed. So just because they lost, it doesn't, it was an upset. No, it wasn't. Listen, I think it's added to the broadcast, and I think Van Pelt does a great job with his bad beats, and Doug Kazarian with his show, and but I think it just all we all kind of tried to slip one in there every now and then when it was something we knew something about, and I was familiar enough with the gambling game to be able to go like we always used, and I'm sure you've heard this story. We always used to bet who can guess first what side Brent has.
You guys actually did that?
Oh, yeah. So you'd be watching and you go, touchdown, and you go, all right, he's got Michigan for sure. Yeah. So, and now, he's kind of the godfather. And so, I went and saw his show when I was in Vegas, a year or so ago, and it was like visiting a shrine. I'm like, oh, Brent, and I really felt that way. And he's a Montana guy now, Burke. So that's good.
That's right. Yeah. Oh yeah, goes way back to the Big Sky country.
Yeah.
Are you? I mean, obviously you're comfortable with it when you guys get it. I mean, you got graphics. ESPN has had deals with the Westgate and with Caesars, and you actually say they're 15-1 to win the Super Bowl at Caesars Sportsbook.
Right.
Does it feel?
But you can't say Raiders. You can't say Raiders. You have to say Las Vegas.
Really?
The rule is you can't use the name of the teams, at least for the NFL.
Wow.
So that's always a thing that they put, like a note. And listen, maybe that changed this year or last year, but that was a thing where you couldn't say the Seahawks or the Patriots. You'd have to say Seattle. And you couldn't say the Super Bowl. You had to say the NFL championship or something.
That's the way we have to do it in the books. We had to do the same exact thing. I didn't realize you guys had the same restrictions on the air.
Yeah.
But does it feel forced at all to you, or are guys like other guys that are doing shows like this, does it feel like I have here in my notes, is it too much? Is it not enough? Or is it just right now as far as injecting sports betting information and stories or whatever into mainstream shows like SportsCenter?
Well, I don't pay attention to what other people are doing that much, to be honest with you. So
that's awesome.
I think it fits when I use it, but not everything I say works. But I never feel like I'm forced to say it or forcing it upon the viewers. If I'm saying it, I think it's interesting. And if you don't think it's interesting, then we just have a differing opinion on what's interesting. But it's not because I'm trying to force something on you.
You got to carry Stan, because Stan doesn't bet and Stan doesn't know the show. And that always leads to a fun back and forth when you ask him, well, what do you like? And I always, because we watch every night here in the house and stuff. And it's always, you get them in, like you said, and it feels right. Yeah. But for a guy like Stan, does he ever go, Neil, I don't know what the hell you're talking about?
Well, every now and then during a commercial, go, okay, explain this to me. What? Wait, you're a contrarian bettor. So that means, Neil, you got to take this. And it's like, no, because your first thought was to bet that, if you bet. So I'm saying, even though you want to take that, even though that seems like the absolute way to go, you've got to bite the bullet and take the other side, because nobody's on that side. That's the side you've got to take. And that has got to just be a philosophy that you live by. You can't pick and choose when you do that. You've just got to go all in on contrarian betting, and then and go with it. And that's how I do it. When I did it, I don't do it much anymore. I mean, I really don't.
Bert, how about this guy?
I don't do it anymore because I absolutely love my wife, and I am.
How about this guy's already got a philosophy, and he's preaching the contrarian betting. This is good stuff. Like, this is not, I mean, this has got to be a regular segment, maybe Neil's contrarian play of the week. I think we may have something there.
I love that he's already ahead of the guy in line that's like still looking at the board, and when he gets to the counter doesn't know what he's betting. So right away, I mean, I'm already approving of this message.
Yeah, Neil spent a little bit of time in some sports books before. We've had a lot of visitors. I
followed your career.
The boys from Hawaii have had some really good stints in meetups at sports books in Las Vegas with us.
By the way, Skip Katie said you never return his calls. Okay.
We'll get to that here in a minute. I still have about 14 minutes left with you. What is your best betting story, Neil? Whether it's your own or someone you were with, the boys from Hawaii. I mean, there's got to be a big play or a big hit or some crazy ass story that you got.
Well, listen, my memory is so foggy, so I'll just go with I'll go with the last one that comes to mind, and that was the last Super Bowl. And so I've got a friend who bets a large amount of money, 6 figures,
okay,
on on the Super Bowl. And he has hit, I want to say, he's been doing it for 18 years. I think he's hit 17 and 18. And the only one he missed was when Pete Carroll forgot to hand the ball off to Marshawn. And that's the only one he missed. So now you could say, well, listen, he got some back. He got the Falcons give back that year. So he got that, but you got the Tom Brady has won him some money. But anyhow, so this year I said, who am I've never asked him like who you betting on. But this year, for some reason, I was talking to him, and it was the week of the Super Bowl or something. And I said, who am I rooting for this weekend? And he said, I can't even remember who played. But
Kansas City and San Francisco.
We were rooting for the Chiefs. And so I called a friend who's got a friend, and I said, give me $3,000 on the Chiefs, and that was a big number for me.
Yeah. And
so that was nice when that envelope arrived at my breakfast table one day.
And you spent it all on your wife, didn't you?
I did. Well, that's funny. So this is a quick little story. So it's not betting, but it's pretty good. So. Oregon was it was Oregon Florida State Rose Bowl when they beat the hell out of Jameis Winston, and only to go to the next game and get the hell beaten out of them by Ohio State. But anyhow, they were doing this special Animal House recreation video, and I'm at the Sugar Bowl though because I was working the Sugar Bowl, Ohio State, Alabama. So we got to get from New Orleans to LA to do this shoot at 1 in the afternoon, New Year's Day. So we're in New Orleans. We're not in good shape. We got a 4 a.m. wake up call. We fly back. Car picks me up. I go. I make the shoot and everything. And my wife says, "How much do they pay you to do that?" And I told her, and she says, "Well, now they paid you just that amount because she got the other half."
Sounds right.
Yeah. Well. At least Kansas City got her half too, Neil.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
That'll work. So what's your best Vegas trip? Because I know you like to come, and we've spent some time together here, and it's not like you come here and blow it out in the sports book. You come for concerts, you come for shows, you've done speaking engagements. What's your best Vegas trip?
I'm going to say my best Vegas trip is when I came out there to Skip's wedding because that's when I met you, my man.
Wow.
And that started the friendship that we have to this day. So that's got to be my best story right there. But Dave's right. We come out with the Hawaii Pacific crew, and we stay at the M, and I've come out and stayed downtown. I mean, listen, there's been some good times. But I came out and saw Chris Stapleton by myself, maybe a year or two ago, and I'm like, that was a good run too.
Yeah, no, it's been a blast, and yeah, that trip that you came for that wedding, we had such a good time, and that's resulted in hopefully a lifelong friendship. But we've shared some good times, and I can tell you, my one and only trip to Oregon for your wedding was a quick one, and we got out of there because we had kids that needed to be watched. But that night, I don't remember the back end of it, but we had a blast. So that was a lot of fun too.
I'm living the back end of it, and it's fabulous. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, I hope Steph listens to the show. This is really good stuff, Neil. I know she doesn't even watch you on SportsCenter, so maybe she'll watch this. I don't know.
She has no idea. Berg, when I first met my wife, she didn't have a TV, so I dated her for a while, and then I don't know how many months it was later. She calls me up. I get a call from her, and she says, "I'm in a bar. You really are on television."
Nice.
Yeah, that's the truth. I remember that story. She told us that.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a common friend, our guy that Skip Katie. That, we went to his wedding and met. And, of course, I don't know how he even knew you were doing the show because I haven't talked to him yet, but I was going to talk to him tomorrow. But, he sends me a text. He says, you got to ask Neil a question. Ask him how it feels to go into the Oregon Hall of Fame broadcasting wing. Like, how does that feel?
Well, it hasn't happened yet, but it's a nice honor that
Damn it, Skip.
Well, no, it's happening. No, it is they have called and told me I'm going to be enshrined. So Skip's story is correct.
Oh,
but the enshrinement has not happened yet.
Okay.
That happens in October. I believe it's going to be virtual. So that's a drag that it's going to have to be virtual. But those are the sacrifices that we make in these days. But yeah, listen, it's a great honor. And listen, here's the thing: you want a long shot? You want a real long shot?
Please.
You bet that I'm going to make the Hall of Fame at Oregon Journalism School when I was a student there. Okay, that's off the books. Okay. There was no way that nobody was giving any action on that.
No price, an out price. That's what we call it in the industry.
That much of a chance it was going to be too much, and it was that much of a chance, and I shot and I scored, and so it's really a great honor, man. I'm really privileged and I'm super humbled by it.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Another question we have, we give the Twitter handles. We all are participating in Twitter, and the kids do TikTok and Instagram and all that stuff. All the old folks are doing Facebook. Neil Everett is not doing any social media. And I just is it ever going to happen? Or are you able to hold out all this time and not participate in the social media thing?
I think the train has left the station. If I've stood this long, I don't see why. I mean, what good is there to come of it? I mean, really, it's
great question.
It's time consuming. I don't have enough time to. I mean, if you saw what's like everything that's here, these piles of stuff that I have to do, and I'm going to sit there and I'm going to Facebook friend somebody. First of all, I'm a grown man, and that does not sound like what a grown man would do. Okay. Okay. What did you do now? I Facebook friended Berg. I just met him. Okay. It doesn't seem like the right way to go. So
we're not friends until we drink tequila, Neil.
What's that?
We're not friends until we drink tequila.
I like that. Azuñia. There you go. All right.
Yeah. The meetup in Vegas is going to be fantastic when this meetup happens. I cannot wait.
Absolutely.
Cannot wait. All right. Before we get out of here, you're known obviously for all these awesome phrases and catchphrases that you fire out. And I'm sure, I've seen you do the show live in person, in the studio. And sometimes obviously Stan's used to it now, but when you start a show with a how's it and, bartender Jack and all, You can Google them and find them out. But does aloha really mean goodbye?
That's not mine. That's Larry Beal, excuse me.
I know.
Larry Beal, who's from Hawaii, and aloha means goodbye, and it means hello and goodbye. Absolutely. So
I had to ask it because, Skip asked us, tell him
Oh,
that and all this
Skip.
stuff, Skip's always on your case. He calls you Hollywood, even to your face. And I don't know why. I don't know how you got that nickname because you're the least Hollywood guy that I know. Berg, you got a question?
I got one favor for my man, Neil Everett. I need you to put a hit on Olbermann for me one of these days, okay? Because I have to bring this up to you because he called me out on SportsCenter as P.T. Barnum for having the Lakers as the favorite. And the very next day, they traded for Anthony Davis. So you got to go give him a little jab to the ribs for me.
You know what? I've never met Keith Olbermann, so that's the hit is probably
perfect ninja then.
But you know what? I will send the word down to the mothership and listen. It's this whole ESPN thing and getting to do stuff like this and getting even to cross paths with Keith Olbermann, even though I don't know him. It's like I'm living outside of myself. What a blessed existence I've gotten from getting this job 20 years ago.
Well, we're excited to see you back on Monday. Whether you want to opt out or not, you're going. And I hope that our listeners will, they can't follow you on social media. They can follow Stan, though. Stan's on there. He's very active. But it's a treat to watch you guys do the show. And I know how happy you are personally to be out in L.A. instead of Bristol. You're a West Coast guy, and you got the touch on the shoulder that, hey, we're going to open a studio in L.A. You're still thanking every day that you're out there, right?
What a blessing. What a blessing. I'm glad we set up shop out here, and Stan and I came out here, and that's been 11 years ago, and so 20 years total. And again, I mean, how lucky am I? How fortunate am I? And when you watch the show and it looks like those guys are having that much fun, those guys are having that much fun.
Well said, sir. All right. Well, thanks again for joining us, listeners. That's Neil Everett, ESPN SportsCenter anchor extraordinaire. He's the man. And I love you, buddy. I mean, that goes without saying. Thanks for doing the show for us. And I can't wait to meet up and hang out. Hopefully sooner than later, but I don't know when it's going to be, but I'm looking forward to it.
Bring Reynolds and Berg. That's all that counts. All right. Don't leave a man behind.
All right, Neil, thanks, man. We'll talk to you soon. Aloha. So before we move on, and hopefully Mo here joins the show, we wanted to mention that, to be sure to sign up for the weekly Gaming Today newsletter, which highlights the latest stories from the sports betting and casino industry world. All you have to do is put your email address in the box on the gamingtoday.com homepage. So that's a new addition to the Gaming Today homepage. You'll also find our button for the GT Cash Consider podcast, along with all of the featured writers and articles every week. The print edition is also available in sports books all over the country. A big thank you there to Neil Everett, ESPN SportsCenter anchor. He's a great dude, personal friend of mine, and hopefully you guys got to really enjoy that interview. We're going to replace Neil. Neil tags out, and we're bringing in our boy, Motoy Pearson, at He These Takes, and he's going to join us for the rest of the show. Let's go around the board here real quick. The Twitter handles, @%Berg for Allen, at I am Reynolds 2305 for Reynolds. The show, at GT Cash Consider, and myself, Dave Sherapan, at Sports BK Consig for Sportsbook Consigliere. There he is, Motoy Pearson. Mo, what's up, brother?
Yo, what's going on? I'm in the risk room at Circa, man. Getting down, booking some second half WNBA.
Yeah,
regular day for me.
Booking it on one end, sweating maybe a play or two on another.
Always.
Yeah, you got. I mean, this is what you do. This is exactly what you do. Have you put up the PGA second round matchups or adjusted prices for the golf tournament?
No, not just yet. I've seen a lot of them coming in on DB, but at some point they'll be out. You know the game.
All right. Well, make sure you get to that shit before you get out of there tonight. You're going to hear about it if you don't, and there's people that are already looking for the numbers, just so you know.
Oh, they're waiting, man.
Yeah.
They're waiting. They're by the phone. They're right by the phone.
Pushing the app. Where are those at? All right. Well, that's enough golf talk right now. The only question I had, and we're going to kind of do this every Thursday, and especially now it's a major, the winning score this weekend of the PGA, the leader, I believe, is -5, standalone, Jason Day. There's a bunch of guys -4. Leaderboard is loaded. -12, ove or un, AB, winning score, un, big un, one big thumb down for the video feed on YouTube. No toy, ove, 12, un, 12, -12 for the winning score.
Oh man, I would say under. Seems this course seems tough. The course in itself is just messed up. It's windy. It's gonna be under.
Okay, I'll book you both. I'll go over. I'll just for the sake of the show. If the wind picks up, you guys are easy winners. The adjusted price will be double digits. I don't think anybody will get to double digits if that wind picks up in San Francisco. But if it holds off, the greens are soft. Guys are pitching darts. I saw a couple shots today, so I'll go ove. Let's start with the bubble sport, the NHL, back. We got hockey all damn day in the risk room, in the books, on TV. And I don't know about you boys, AB, bubble hockey it's kind of fun to watch, isn't it?
I've just been watching all the NBA.
Fair.
No, I've been watching some of the hockey. I love hockey too. I've always been a big proponent of the schedule change so I can get fully invested into each playoff series at different times of the year. So I'd love to see the NBA start their season on Christmas, as we've talked about on the show before, so that I can get both playoffs by themselves. But it's hard. It's like, with the junkyard there's just no real reason for me to dig into hockey because he needs me to be digging into the NBA. So I'm usually just captivated by that because I have to book it and whatnot. So
as much as he watches hockey and you don't watch the hockey, he's even more. Hey, I don't think he said he's watching an NBA game in a decade, and he's watching hockey. So that's good. Mo, are you riding any of these first period uns? Because it's been pretty much an easy cash ticket. First period unders so far at the bubble have just been money.
I feel like I've seen more bets on the first periods since NHL's been back. People are getting right to it immediately, which is fine with me. That's my style. I don't know. I feel like I've been seeing a lot of late goals. Maybe it's just the games that I've seen, or maybe it's just highlights, but I haven't paid enough attention to get down like that in the NHL.
Okay.
I seen that Knights game today. That shit was insane.
That was insane. 6-4 final. They beat St. Louis again. They were down in the first game that they played 3-1 and won the game 5-4. They beat St. Louis today 6-4 after being down. The Knights have a shot of getting the number 1 seed out of this round robin. They play the Avalanche. I believe the game is Saturday night. So we're looking forward to that in Vegas. I think the line will be probably Avalanche a short favorite, and the Avalanche are also 2-0. It's going to be a great hockey game and a preview of maybe the Western Conference Finals. So we'll see what that line is. I wouldn't be surprised to see it -120 in that neighborhood for the Avalanche. Total probably is going to be 6. I don't know who's going to play goal. There's a goalie controversy in Vegas, which is hard to believe the way Marc-Andre Fleury has been, but Leonard's been better. So whoever I think plays in that game is going to play goalie for the Knights, at least in the first round series. So we'll see how that goes. But let's move on. Major League Baseball. Even the Rona can't stop Major League Baseball. It's trying. Nope. It's trying. But we got the Marlins are back. They're playing. The Cardinals are not. The Tigers are not. Feels like there's a postponement every day. But What you got any early takeaways other than the Yankees winning every day, AB, from any baseball? Because all they do is win.
It's classic of baseball, like even
What's
though
up,
it's
man?
only 60 games, I still feel like it's one of those things where we don't really know yet how good any of these teams are because it's
Simple.
just such a small sample size. So we'll see. I mean, pitchers got to go around a few times, I think, before we're going to know who's truly locked in. And then you never know. I mean, they might fade all of a sudden right when the playoffs hits. So there's going to be some surprises, I think, once we actually get into a playoff format.
Mo, are you all over these first 5 innings, or are you just laying low and playing sides and totals like normal? Mo's gone.
Are you on video or just audio?
Just audio.
I think he muted himself there.
He's not playing
Yeah,
anything.
should have. Man, I feel like I should have did it. I feel like I should be
Mo.
wearing a hat.
All right, you with me, Mo?
No, I'm okay.
Mute your
No,
microphone.
Matt. Matt just walked in. He says, "What's up to everyone?" Except
Oh.
for you, Dave.
Yeah. All right. That's fine. Still waiting for. Tell Matt I'm still waiting for him to call me back. It's been about 6 weeks.
Dave says he's waiting for a call. He just threw his hands up. He says, "I don't understand this."
Yeah.
This is wild. This
This is
incredible.
what happens. That's Matt Metcalf down at the risk room there at Circuit with Mo, calling me out.
Huh?
I hope he listens to the show.
Matt says you guys talk too much. It's done now. You guys are done here.
Well, no, we're asking you, Mo. What are you looking at in baseball? Are you been betting the first 5 innings, or you been just playing sides and totals? Because I know you're playing something.
I've been so far out of baseball, it's crazy. Ever since I figured out that Ohtani couldn't throw any strikes against the Astros, I gave up on baseball.
That's it. That's your guy. Yeah, he's out. Well,
Speaking of baseball, Matoy, do we have the Fonz parlay in for tomorrow?
No, not yet.
Oh,
I'm not trying to let
It's
you
all right.
down, but it's gonna be in at some point.
for the listeners that missed that show, this has been a legendary parlay that AB came up with before the season started. It's the Fonzie Parlay, dubbed so because it's the A's, the Rays, and the Jays. Every
Point.
day that those 3 teams play not each other, we're in one cash, right, so far?
we cashed the very first one, and we put a little bit extra on that one because it was the first one. So that was beautiful that it hit because now we can bring it back a little bit. So now I'm gonna try to do it for more when I feel like the spot's right, and I like the pitching matchups and how they're hitting and all that stuff. So we'll probably have one in big on Saturday, hopefully, but we'll see.
All right.
It's the one on Saturday is gonna be for everything. I already know.
All of it? Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Oh,
It's
wow.
gonna be quite a
Might
bit.
as well. Might as
Yeah,
well.
why the hell not?
Well, we're gonna win the one tomorrow, so we'll just do that. We'll put both of them in all in.
If you can,
We gotta.
remind
We need a key. We need a key.
Oh my God.
Can somebody put it in the group text maybe to remind me to do it, because I got a million other things going on. I got to put it in because I missed day 1, of course, and that's the one that hit. And, now that we've tweeted it out, we played the video clip. It's available 2 episodes ago. It's a classic reaction by Mo. Screams it out, and then he goes, "It's the Fonzie Parlay." He's the youngest one of the crew. I didn't think he had a clue what the hell Happy Days was, and he fired it out there. And it's been just running and legendary since. It's been fabulous. I tagged freaking Henry Winkler himself in one of the tweets. He didn't reply. I mean, I don't even think he's probably not managing his own Twitter, but
It'll get to him soon. It'll be fine.
Let's hope so.
Fonzie's literally the one character I know from the show. I have no idea what
Yeah, I
even
couldn't
was
figure out
happening. I don't know what it's
Dave's,
about.
I couldn't figure out Dave's tweet where he labeled each of us as a character. I was like, I don't know.
I know. I'm like, who? What?
Yeah.
I feel like there's a guy named Ronald.
Ralph Mouth, Fonzie. No Ronald. Good try though.
That's terrible.
It is bad.
That's horrible.
Before we move on, AB, we got a couple weeks in. What do you think of the extra inning rule? Yay or nay?
It's coronavirus rules, so sure. I don't know. I mean, like it's it's like I'm always the one that's saying I want to see more exciting things from the NFL, but just starting with a guy on base seems very like silly. Like I don't know.
You're not sold
like,
yet.
That's just I mean, it's like in the fourth quarter, like putting the ball at like the 10-yard line and just starting from there. Like I don't know. Not a big fan.
It's like college overtime being played from the 10-yard line or 25-yard line and doing.
Yeah, and I mean that's exciting, and at least like I feel like that's still a form of football. Like because overtime and all that like in college just gets stupid. They're just not. It's not professional, I guess is the way to say it. But because those overtimes have been kind of exciting, right? I mean, we've got some classic overtime games in college football, but I don't know. It's weird for baseball. Baseball's such a grind sport that it just seems strange to just put them on base.
Right. All right. I love it. I can't get enough of it. And the game mostly end in the 10th, so that's even better. The sooner an extra inning game can end, I think everybody's happier, including.
I just want the ties back. Like I want the hockey ties back. Like get rid of shootouts, baseball 7 innings. Like just give it. It's a tie. You guys didn't win. You didn't do enough. You both sucked. You both get nothing.
God, that's fucking one of your worst ones ever. I can't believe it. I never would have guessed. Again, I would have been broke that you would say you like the ties.
Just get out of here. Like, I love when the NFL plays the full 15 minutes and no one scores. I'm like, good. They both stunk. Get them out of here. They deserve a tie and missed the playoffs because they couldn't win a game in overtime with overtime 15 minutes.
Wow.
Bums.
I never would have guessed that. Yeah. AB likes ties in football. No, here's all of it. Take all of it on the nut. See you later. God damn it. Well, let's move on to this is truly the new NFL of betting. This NBA, if you're not on, you're just missing it. It has been just so good. And I don't know if it's because they, weren't playing and we didn't have it, but you're booking it now every day exclusively pretty much while you're there. You're watching it. I'm doing the same thing. I'm doing every halftime, watching every game, except for the ones that were blacked out, that we can't get, which I still can't fucking figure out when you can get the 10:30 game. Sometimes it's on, sometimes it's not. But what do you take away so far from bubble basketball in the NBA?
Oh, it's been exciting, man. Like, I mean, we got teams like the Suns, Blazers, and Raptors are just getting after it. I mean, just playing their asses off. Like, it's been awesome. Like the Suns, the Suns are there to win, man. Like, I'm super impressed with how well they've played.
Can they get the 8 seed, the Suns, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, they just have to stay within 2 games or 3 games?
I think it's
2 games.
And then there's a
yeah.
play.
Shit, they're right there, man. I mean, the Grizzlies are choking like crazy.
They're out.
I think at the end it's going to be Portland. I've been, up on that for a while. I think they're the one team because they got Nurkic back. They're a different team because they have him now, and they're deep. Like they somehow have got Carmelo Anthony to embrace being a role player, which took about 7 years too long, but he seems to be doing it. Whether he could do it in a big spot in a big game and not take the double teamed shot that he shouldn't take from 18 feet, we'll see. But they're a threat, man. I honestly think that they could give the Lakers a go, man. I don't think any other 8 seed can. I think they're the one team that matches up decently against them with size and experience and all this other stuff. And we'll see, though. I mean, it'd be fun to just see these. I'm very excited to see these play-in games where they got to win like 2, I think it is. If they're above you, you have to beat them twice. But if they beat you once, you're done. So – yeah, I'm very excited. Like, I'm digging the whole – like, the teams that are clawing in the West have been fun. Like, even the Spurs.
Right. No, it's been great. Mo, I know you're not – you just said you're not down into basketball at all. To baseball. Hockey's not your thing. Soccer, I know you're probably still watching that shit and trying to, bet on Atalanta. Serie A is done. Are you watching this NBA and watching these lines flying? There's totals moving in one day, 8 points. I've been on this side of the counter, both sides of the counter, my whole life. I ain't never seen a total move 8 points in 3 hours. What the hell's going on, Mo?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you're not making enough threes, obviously you're out. Between the Rockets and the Blazers, it's just crazy to watch them play basketball.
300.
I mean,
There's going to be
really,
300 points scored in an NBA game in the bubble. It's going to happen.
I already locked it up. T.J. Warren scored 50 points in a game. So, I mean, that's where we should really base all of this information on, just to see how ridiculous this is. I mean,
he's a good ball player, bro.
Yeah, I'm 50 points worth. Like, I don't know.
He went 9 for 12 from 3.
No, I know. That's proving my point is what I'm saying. Like, that's just insane.
Then anybody can make 9 for 12 from 3? I don't.
For the most part, yeah. I think,
stop.
I think at this point,
Here we go.
Yeah.
This is unbelievable.
It's actually more into it now because, like, there's games every, like, couple hours. Like, it's starting to prove my point more on how ridiculous it is as far as the scoring in the NBA. Just to go off on the totals we were just talking about. But.
I think the ridiculous part is it took everyone this long to figure out that 3 is worth more than 2 is the thing you're looking for.
Been saying it for years, AB. You've been saying it for years.
D'Antoni's obviously ahead of his game.
Genius.
You know, for what we've already been talking about. Yeah,
if he gets a title, I mean, it completely changes his whole story, man.
Can he get a title? Can he get it? Can that style of basketball win?
Yes, it can win a title, but they got to have the right pieces, and they don't have the right pieces
well,
right now. They have the key piece, but they don't have the supporting cast they need for that team to win, in my opinion.
How much more do they need? What do they need?
Well, first of all, Russell Westbrook can't shoot 4 threes and make 1 every game. Like that's not going to work. Their second best player can't go 1 for 4 for 3 every night. Like, just stop shooting threes, dude. Just drive, get fouls, get to the bucket. That's all they need you to do. And they don't have guys that can shoot. Just don't have enough. Do you think they do? I don't think they're good enough.
I think they are somehow. I mean, just the way that they play, I think they're good enough to do it.
I think Harden's got to drop like 45 a game against the Lakers every game for them to win in 7.
He'll do it. That's his game.
What's the 8 seed in the West? Who do you say right now is going to get that 8 seed? I'm with anything. I say Portland.
It has to, like, are they the best team in the NBA? They're the best team in the NBA. Oh,
man, let's go.
I'm doing it. I'm saying it right now. Portland's the best team.
Let's go.
Is there anybody better than them?
Oh,
I can't.
Man. You should have seen me messing with Lawrence today. A guy I work with, Lawrence, huge Laker fan. I just kept walking by him. I said, they better not let him get in, man. They better not let him get in. And then I went back from the water cooler. Then I walked back from the water cooler, and I looked at my arm where there was no watch and just gave him and he just started cracking up laughing. I'm like,
Dame time.
Give it to him. Let's see what happens. Give Lillard that team, man. You're telling me he's not going to get after them? Oh, man. I hope I get to see it.
Lawrence is probably hurt because I know he loves Lillard.
Yeah, he does yeah. Man. Yeah.
What's the series price, boys? Lakers, I'll go to you first, AB. Lakers, Blazers.
First instinct would be plus $9, I would say.
You got to lay 11-1.
Yeah, just be, what is that, 12? I think it's like 12 normally, right? 12-9, something like that. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I would be – that's the price I'm scared to put up. I just think that's what I think the market would choose. I would want to be lower than whatever the market chooses. I'll put it that way.
All right.
I'd rather take my first bet on the Lakers than my first bet on the Blazers.
Mo,
yeah.
Does that sound right?
Oh man, it's 9 seems kind of high. I don't know. I was thinking like 7 or 6. I don't know how low. I mean, obviously that's pretty low, but circumstantially, like this is like a different deal. It's not This is COVID, type of basketball. I don't understand how you could kind of price something like you would normally if it's like in a different type of environment. Is what I'm saying.
Well,
I'd say low would probably be a little bit better.
That's the thing, just in general. With the scoring, everybody's fresh, everybody's healthy. O's are just rolling. Lines are moving. 3 open -3, close -8 on sides. Seeing a lot of one-way betting in general. It's been a lot of fun just to watch and also, be on our side of the counter and betting it or booking it. But I would say the Lakers is probably going to go a little lower. I was thinking -8 + 6 is the first number I would put up. And I'd be okay with letting them lay 8-1 myself, and bump it. Because if the Trailblazers win the first game, now we're live. There's no home court. There's no anything. So I think it just looks a little bit different. Obviously, I'm thinking like you, it would be that high if it was at LA and at Portland. But now we got to bump, in my mind, I mean, it could be completely wrong, but I would bump everything down because of the lack of home court in any of the series prices. So
if LeBron loses this series, he's going to get crucified as well. So
Oh, man.
go ahead and put that in the mix too, because there's a lot at stake for this guy.
is he going to
Bubble
play
Bron.
another game?
Bubble Bron is
shit.
Oh man, hold on, that was out of control. Bubble Bron is. I don't think I've heard anyone say that. That's a new one. It's crazy.
On Fonzie Parlay, that's what we do. We bring the shit that nobody else brings and stay here. You know. So there we go. No, but do you think LeBron plays another game in the regular season until the playoffs? Why would he play?
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
He shouldn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah.
We'll see. We won't get the alert until after the other side's played. I can tell you that. If anybody's
Man,
paying attention,
Twitter is a beautiful device, man.
Yes.
That's the number one reason I'm still on Twitter, man.
The amount of information, if you're following the right people, is
Yep.
enormous on Twitter. It still is amazing that Twitter is free.
And we still get scooped, but
Yeah.
you know, it's so much better. It's so much better.
Yeah. All right. Before I go to the Take a Minute segment, I wanted to mention this ridiculous thing that I started doing on my Twitter handle at SportsBCakeandSig with this White Sox thing. And it's a daily update on the Chicago White Sox. The team that has the most tickets on them to win the World Series. And we have to put out the price. We have to come up with some sort of 280 character or less summary. And it gets thousands of views, and it sparked contact with some people in the Chicago area that I didn't know, including your boy Sammy P.
Sammy P.
Yeah, and he just did the You Better You Bet show. We're going to eventually have him on the show here. He's talking about Reynolds. He put it out there to me today in a message. He wants to do a live show at the D when he comes into town in 2 weeks. I said, I don't know if we can do a live show at the D. He said he would sit on Mo's lap to make it would be one box, two guys. I don't know.
That can't be a real thing. I need that in writing.
He said you would go for it, Mo. Is there any truth that you allowing him to sit on your lap?
Sammy P's dead to me now.
That's it.
He's dead to me.
Sammy P is a pretty fun follow on Twitter, and he's got a podcast coming. I guess it's called At Chicken Dinner, something like that, where he clucks and talks about the White Sox and the Cubs and everything else in Chicago. Gave out Wisconsin to win the college football championship. It actually said the Blackhawks have a shot of winning the Stanley Cup. I called him the biggest homer in the world. I don't even know, but I can't wait to meet him. I just wanted to make sure that I mentioned him. And I know he's listening to the podcast because he's taking some of our shit and using it for himself. So that's whatever he's got to do. That works as well, Sammy. So, you know, I got to put it out there. All right. Let's do take a minute and sign off. Mo, we can't see you, but we want to start with you. We're going youngest to oldest tonight for Take a Minute. Our 1 year anniversary show. We're going to talk about that. That's going to be my Take a Minute. What do you have here for the Take a Minute segment on the way out?
Not much. I think I'm pretty upset that I didn't get to talk to Neil.
Yeah.
So I'm going to chalk it up to just being upset about that for a moment. Jokingly, of course. But, yeah, you know, just to hear about the yearly deal for us, man. It's been an insane ride so far up to this point.
It certainly has. It certainly has. All right. Well, Alan, you always hit us with really strong, hard-hitting wisdom on the Take a Minute segment. 1 year anniversary. What do you got? 1 minute.
Hey, man. The Fonzie Parlay was a Take a Minute. You better calm down.
Yeah, that was a wise
I'll slap you right through Zoom.
No, that was a good moment. One of my favorites.
Oh, man. He threw me off now. I don't even know what I was going to say. I got nothing.
Hey.
There it is. I got nothing. 1 year of 51 I got nothings and one Fonzie Parlay, and you still are plus money on the year.
I feel like if we go dig on some of that one a minute, I got some good ones, though.
Oh, shit.
I think we're underplaying that.
There's no doubt. There's
Hey,
no
my bad, man. I didn't even – all right.
You
It's all right. We'll settle things in the street. It's fine.
You got
We've been waiting. Alan's been waiting to scrap for years.
If we could set this up in year number 2, Mo versus AB.
Oh man, just bet me by submission for as much as you can get down.
Limits are low. Whoever's offering them.
What's
Guaranteed.
the price? Who's the favorite?
Whatever you want it to be.
Oh no, that's a terrible answer. He knows what the price is. He just doesn't want to say it. That's a bunch of bullshit.
Oh my goodness! All right.
No, I couldn't ever fight my man Matoy. He's
waiting. He's waiting.
Yeah.
It's a fake move.
Doing the Tito Ortiz, Chuck Liddell move. Like, but we're friends.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
I'm not gonna do it for fun, not for money.
Oh, of course.
It'd be fun to watch, but we would have to put money on it, I think.
Oh no. You'll never see it coming.
Okay.
He tried to choke me out at Caesars 2 years ago. He still denies it, but I know he tried. I know he tried to do it.
Was it during the podcast?
There would be no try. There'd be no try.
You guys shared a microphone. You guys shared headphones. You stacked it up like back in the day.
Oh, yeah, back in the day. Yeah.
Many things that went on back at the bunker when you guys were back together. But I'll start my take a minute now and just real quick, just want to thank everyone who's listened to the show over the year. Thank Gaming Today for, bringing us to a bigger audience per se, and giving us the umbrella to be on the site and, have different options available. We have grown from, I swear we were doing it with tin cans. We didn't have a producer. We got the best producer in the world right now with Reynolds doing the show for us and making sure that, things are edited. We do sound checks. We do rundowns. We have a professional presence to help make the show what it is. And it's been a fucking blast. I mean, from the SoundCloud to the Spreaker to the Anchor disaster that was, and the alien noises, the different stuff that happened.
Oh, what a classic day.
The technical issues that allowed us to not do the show after trying for 40 minutes to get it together to this. We just had Neil Everett from SportsCenter on the show. Last week we had Todd Furman from Fox Sports Live on the show.
I don't know that guy. I don't know.
That guy's a criminal. He's still a criminal. But we've had so many. We've had guests on. We've had a lot of fun. We've given out plays, and it's just been a blast. And I am one person. Neil said he was thankful. I'm thankful for the show. I'm thankful for you guys. And I just wanted to mention that. I posted a story on Twitter about it today, and I really meant it from my heart. And I don't know where this is going to go. I hope it has nowhere to go but up. But if it doesn't, it's been a nice fucking run, boys. And, we'll try to keep doing the show at least as it is. So I went 1:40. I'm sorry, but that's it. Before I go and mention all the boys again on the way out, I just had to mention the Gaming Today. The Digital Gaming Today subscription is only $6.95. You get award-winning content, analysis, stats, picks, casino industry news, and more. You get a Don Best feed with real-time lines and scores from 6 Vegas sportsbooks. I believe it's 6. It might be more. Links to casino deals and sportsbook app signups. You even get the Gaming Today newspaper in digital form. Just go to gamingtoday.com/register. You can also contact Gaming Today directly. Gabby, you find her or Howard or somebody and mention the show. You get a 20% discount code. Mention cash considerations. If you listen to the show, tell Howard that we sent you. We're your guys, and see if you can get that 20% discount. Howard will work that out afterward. Don't worry about it. Show. He's at Gaming Today News, Howard Barish. Our producer, I am Reynolds 2305. You're the fucking man. Beard game, again, looking great. Alan Berg, @ Berg. I cannot believe you're wearing a fucking Raiders hat. He's crossed over. It's done. There it is right there. On YouTube, you can see it. He's been staring at it. The 50-50 Raiders hat. Alan Berg, your boys in Chicago. Everybody can't believe it. And we got Motoy Pearson. No video, but he's here in audio. He brings it every week. @HeD's Takes. the show at GT Cash Consider. Follow the show, share the show, rate the show, review the show. We're getting close. 1,500 is the goal for number of followers on Twitter, at least by football season. So we got work to do. Tell a friend, follow along on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @SportsBKConsig, Sportsbook Consigliere. See you guys next week. Happy 1-year anniversary under Gaming Today. We'll do it again next week.